We're gonna put this one all the way on the ground and still be able to haul all his other trucks. We're making one of the longest frames we ever made. New, huge 4-link and incorporate the gooseneck hitch in.
I want it to be loud.
We can top of the line. This 57 Chevy Bel Air Pro Mod, it's pretty rare to see one with a diesel in it.
Approximately 3,000 horsepower.
It looks like it's been an accident. The hood of that thing, man, is rough.
It had an exhaust leak out of the side right here.
We were just getting made fun of in the pits. Just needs a little bit of TLC.
Oh
my gosh, bro! You have a freaking race car.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
You know, it gets a little intense around the shop, so pretty much since I opened Extensive, we've had dogs around. You know, Timmy confiscated Blue, so, you know, I decided to take my daughter, Presley, off to the pound to go get a new shop. How you doing? Hey. What you think, Presley? He's a good size, huh?
Yeah.
I think we ought to get him out, check him out.
Yeah, me too. It's okay.
He's a little skittish, but
yeah,
he'll be all right.
Yeah, I think he's a good shop dog, but I had my eye on one I want to take home too.
You know, we got enough at home right now.
I mean, there's always room for one more. It's okay, though.
I think we found our new shop dog.
Yeah.
Come on.
Butch.
Like Cleve or something.
No, Butch.
Cleve?
Butch. Come on.
You know, I always get excited seeing a new project roll in. You know, you always hear talk on the phone, hey, I'm going to bring you this, I'm going to bring you that, but, you know, it's never real until the project actually gets onto the property. And seeing this thing backed up, unloaded onto the property today, we know it's real. I'm ready to get going. Made it, huh?
Yes, sir. So what you going to do to this thing?
Man, I don't even know yet.
No?
I guess I'm going to have to get with the owner and really see what's going on, right? I was expecting a new dually. I didn't realize it was a brand new dually. GMC Denali dually, one of my personal favorites, just seeing a dually come in. You know, he's got the right idea.
It's going to be nasty.
Man, I appreciate it, man.
Let me know when it's done, bro.
You got it.
Bye, bro.
This 3500 Denali dually was shipped from the owner in Kansas City with a top-of-the-line 6.6 turbo diesel. It's a good-looking truck. Beautiful truck. You know, I can't wait to talk to him to really see what we're doing to this thing. It's going to be a great, great project. JD, what's happening?
Yeah, hey, what's going on, Bill?
Another day in paradise here at Extensive.
Oh, yeah, always.
Man, we got a big white GMC dually outside with your name on it. What's your idea here?
I'm thinking to lower this one, set it on the ground. I love dualies. I've had one for years. I've always lifted them.
You know, I just love a big four-door dually with 6 28-inch wheels all the way around this thing, flat on the ground, with an addition of air suspension.
You know, I'm ready to shock people when they see this thing.
Yeah, I've never seen one of those sitting on the ground. Never even heard of anybody working on one.
And, you know, I'm hoping to be the first one, you know, to slam one.
JD, you're in the right spot for sure, man.
See, I'm excited.
How are you going to be using this thing? You're just going to be cruising around every day? You know, are you wanting a tow hitch?
You know, we want to take it to shows, you know, kind of represent our company. We're actually towing two other vehicles to SEMA with it.
Seeing that thing coming down the road, pulling into Las Vegas, it's definitely going to be a showstopper.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
So we need to incorporate a gooseneck hitch in to the framework and the suspension itself at the same time so you can actually work this thing.
Yes.
Man, that's going to be cool. That's going to be cool. We'll be building new tubular control arms and a new huge 4-link for the back of this thing and incorporating the gooseneck hitch in so you can tow whatever you want to on the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, as far as like the exterior of the truck, what are your thoughts on that?
You know, I was thinking leave it all white, get rid of all the black trim, the black mirrors, do a color match.
That's the way the factory should have made these things.
I want it to be loud.
Now you're talking. This thing is already top of the line, everything in the interior, but we can definitely top of the line. This is going to be a sought after vehicle for people to look at SEMA show.
It's going to have its challenges. It's an all-new platform, but when we pull it in on the lift, we know we're the first ones to cut up underneath this thing.
That's a lot of work coming up, man, but we're going to make it happen for you.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it.
You know, we always like to push the envelope. You know, everybody's waiting to see what the newest project's going to roll out. This is just going to show everybody what the latest. We put a lot of dualies on the frame. We put a lot of dualies, you know, close to the ground, but this thing is going to be completely flat body on the ground. You know, just putting a brand new dually on the ground is going to have 1,000 challenges, but I want to create something just, you know, one of one, something just totally unique that nobody's seen before and nobody's going to see again.
What we got here?
Man, customer just dropped this thing off. New dualies look good.
It looked real good in my driveway.
We're going to put this one all the way on the ground.
So we don't need this no more, huh?
Yeah, probably not.
So frame on the ground.
Body on the ground.
Man, I always love when we put these dualies on the floor. They just look good. They look really good.
And not just that, 28-inch wheels. This thing is going to be low.
Oh, no.
He has a couple other show cars that he wants to tow with this. So hauling 2 cars needs a gooseneck hitch in this thing too. You know, the only way to achieve that on this truck, you already know. Old frame's got to go completely out and build a new frame bumper to bumper. And just cut off all the factory suspension. So you just bare frame rails and we just start fresh, building control arms, you know, 4-link suspension, and incorporating big airbags in place of the springs and the torsion bars that are on the front of this thing.
So is that all we're doing, or is there more surprising?
There's a couple more. We're going to upgrade the speakers inside this thing. But, you know, we can definitely do better, put some speakers outside this thing to really make it way louder and have the speakers actuate out and up so it just projects the sound even more.
Low and loud.
That's it.
Sounds just like the infomercial, man. But wait, there's more.
You know, on the body, on the outside of the body, you know, has the black accents around. We're going to pull those things off, slick them down, paint them all body color to really make this thing look finished.
You're adding a whole lot to the plate on this one.
Plate's very big on this one.
It's easy, Tim. No worries.
Let's get to it.
Now these new trucks are packed with electronics. So teardown is a huge job on top of what already is a huge job. You know, it's super, super important for John and Tim to keep track of everything and where it came from.
Hey, what did this plug into?
That yellow thing on that little cover.
Huh? The fender? A wiring that's going to have to be modified.
We take all the wiring harness off the frame and relocate that onto the new chassis. And if one of them don't work, you're going to have problems. You know, taking a car apart, that's the easy part. Taking it apart with the thought that you got to know how to put it back together and you got to know what goes where, that's the task. The more thought you put into it when you take it apart, the easier it goes back together.
I would much rather work on an older car. You can eliminate that. Oh, I don't need that. I don't need this. New cars, you can't do that. For instance, one time, we were missing one little sensor on the back of a truck, and it caused a bunch of other things not to work, such as AC, windows, radio.
Everything on here runs something. If you don't make a full circuit of that, half the stuff won't work.
You know, taking apart a new car is like taking apart a car and a computer at the same time.
These things will almost drive themselves, back themselves up, back a trailer up for you. But all that has to have a bunch of wires going through it to make it work.
I would still never trust that, though. I'd drive it myself.
We're going to put the truck on the rack. I want to disconnect like an airbag and the battery be hooked up and then airbags start going off. We're putting a 28-inch wheel in there and the wheel is going to come up right to the top of this. Everything that's on top of the fender well here and on top of that side all has to be relocated.
Hey, Tim, how you want to do these brake lines?
Let's just get it out there first. Man, the old trucks, you had to worry about fuel, spark. That's about it. Where'd this go? Fuse?
Box, the battery, back.
Now, you don't plug this in, it ain't running right. You don't plug something else in, it throws a code, the truck goes in limp mode. We disconnected 857 things.
58.
858 things. We're about to finally lift this thing off the chassis.
Go ahead.
The motor's like 3 foot tall, 3 foot wide, with miles of just wiring, hoses, electrical, computers.
We got to fit all of that in a shoebox. You got your work cut out for you.
We.
Tim. There's only an I in Tim.
The owner of the 2020 Denali wants to drop this thing on the ground and still be able to haul all his other trucks. So like every other custom frame we built.
Wow, look at how far the bed hangs down on the sucker.
There's a reason you don't see too many of them all on the ground.
That's it. You know, the center of our axle is pretty much going to be about right here. We're going to cut all this completely out and make room for that brand new frame, the big airbags, and the big custom hitch. I think we'll probably make this chassis out of 3x5x4 rectangle tubing. So this thing is super, super strong. So it can haul the weight he's planning on hauling with this thing. Let's get that measurement, you know, right from our firewall, right to the center of the wheelbase. That is 142 3/4. And then from the wheelbase back to the back of the frame, 40 1/4. Man, this thing's gonna be long, long.
Now that we have a sketch, I asked Tim to lay out this super long frame with my template. And then he can cut it out.
You know, with this thing standing up, you really start to get the scope of how big this thing is.
We're looking for a frame that's as straight as possible. These have to be exactly parallel with each other. You go to do all your suspension and get measurements off the chassis. If the chassis is off a little bit, all your suspension is going to be off a little bit.
For 1/8 inch off.
That's not right. Nothing else comes out right.
You know, I'm all about helping someone. So when the Diesel family asked to borrow the toter, I can't say no.
What's up, fella?
What's up,
What's up, Bill? How you doing, bro?
What's happening, man?
This thing help you out?
Oh, yeah, big time, man.
Let's get this thing backed up. Get it put up.
Well, man, we got something we need you to look at.
I see the way they're looking. They're definitely up to something.
Yeah, we got a big surprise for Bill.
I think he's gonna love it.
You guys brought your Pro Mod? Man, what you want me to do with the Pro Mod?
Man, we knew you were the only person we let touch this thing.
Well, shoot, man, let's get it out. Let's see what you got going on.
Let's do
All
it.
right, let's do it.
Thing's cool, man. It's a weird sound for a Pro Mod.
It's definitely one of a kind, man.
Right?
This 57 Chevy Bel Air Pro Mod races in one of the fastest classes in drag racing. You know, it's pretty rare to see one running on a diesel engine like this one.
Originally, this car was Doug Winter's. He raced that car all over the country for years and won many championships with it.
Yeah, we had the idea, was like, what would be the coolest thing ever? Saw this thing for sale, or, I mean, killer setup. Just needs a little bit of TLC on the outside. This thing would be perfect, dude.
Yes, he will.
Man, you know, we don't normally work on race cars or build race cars here, but what are you guys thinking?
Well, you can tell we got quite a bit of body damage. And my thoughts were, get the engine in it, get it lined out, get it running good before we spend the money on making it look pretty in case we had an accident or something.
It looks like it's already been an accident. We want you looking good at the racetrack, man, for sure. So what we'll do, go through, get the body work all nice and straight, spend some time getting these gaps lined up and making this thing look presentable. The hood of that thing, man, is rough, huh?
It had a blown Hemi in it whenever we bought the car.
Yeah.
And that's why all that's cut out.
In this case, I'll make an exception for a cow hood. This is the only time I'm going to make this exception.
We don't have the room to not have that. That's the
Right.
problem.
Yeah, that's not an option.
I think we need to update the wrap on it. I mean, it takes me back to the late 90s. It's like, dude.
Man, it was cool back then.
I mean, back then, yeah.
So you want to change it up, make it your own,
Make it our own.
and bring it up to date.
Yes, sir.
Let's check out under the hood of this thing.
Let's do it, man.
Oh, man, you can't be having that.
That's what I wanted to talk to you about, man.
Come on, guys. I mean, everybody wants to see what's under the hood of this thing because it's making such a crazy noise.
I was thinking we redo that exhaust, make it a lot easier for us to get in and out of the trailer.
Definitely, we got to get you hooked up with that, man.
So, Bill, you think you can handle all this?
Man, Tommy, I can definitely do that, but I've always wanted to do a big smoky burnout in one of these things. Man, this old diesel do that?
Oh, yeah, but you want to do it right here, right now.
Yeah, let's take
do
it out.
Try to make sure everything's moved out of the way, because we know when Bill gets in there, you know, they don't call him Wild Bill for no reason. I mean, this guy just cuts loose and everything. Get it up to 2,000 RPMs and hold it for 8 or 10 seconds. I got to make sure he doesn't try to cut a donut in this one, because, I mean, that might get out of hand.
This can go straight.
Hopefully it does. That's what we want.
Hell yeah. Man, that thing's got some power, man.
I know, man, right at 3,000 horsepower.
That's crazy,
I'm
man. That
telling you.
diesel runs good.
Did he get it?
When we're all done with this thing, I get to drive it down the track now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
why
not? We can let him make a pass or
Man, I
two.
appreciate that. Well, you already know, man. We'll get you hooked up with this, man.
Can't wait to see what you do with it.
Can't
Thank you,
wait.
bro.
Looking closer at this car, man, it's hurting. It definitely needs some help. I can see why it's here, and we're going to help them. You know, the one-way diesel guys, the whole family, I love them. They're down for whatever I need help with. They're 100% down. And, of course, if they need some help with something, I'm 100% down. You know, definitely a Pro Mod, a race car isn't in our realm of expertise, but it has metal work, welding, design work. That definitely is in our expertise.
Now, what is this thing doing here?
And you don't see a Pro Mod too often in the shop, right?
I don't know if ever.
You definitely don't see one with the diesel in it.
Yeah, I noticed down the side this thing's got black soot all the way down the side.
Right. And it's just old and tired, and it needs our help.
So they want it to look as good as it runs.
Absolutely, man. As soon as you run this thing down the track, they come back to the pits, pull the front end off. People are going to want to know, hey, what's making all that black smoke? Let's see, man, this thing runs good. Sounds crazy.
And that's what they see first?
They can't have that. We'll have Justin build a new exhaust system, something, you know, they can be proud of.
Yeah, you see Pro Mods all day long. You see the one at the track that's a diesel, they're going to want to come see what was in it.
Exactly. They can definitely be proud when they're in the pits with the front end off now, instead of trying to stand in front of it and block them. You know, after we get the body all straight and smooth, eye-catching, and it promotes your business. So what I want to do is peel off all the wrap and touch up all the body work, make this thing look really, really good, you know, nice and straight. And there's body pieces missing that we have to fabricate. I mean, you see the hood.
So that hood's built to a couple different motors.
Yeah, not like that. You know, I'll make an exception this one time, putting a cow hood on something. You know, this is the exception.
You gonna drive it?
Hell yeah.
You know, this is the first Pro Mod race car we worked on. And man, I love new challenges, and it keeps us fresh. To kick off this build, Justin's gonna replace this old exhaust with something way, way cooler and works a lot better.
First step is going to be to remove the downpipe. You can see it looks like it had an exhaust leak out of the side right here pretty bad. And the reason for that is because that flange wasn't able to mate to the back of the turbo like it should. And from that point, we're going to see what's the best way to cut this flange off, because we're going to have to reuse this outlet flange. And then from there, we're going to take our new pipe cuts that we have and basically build a 90-degree bend out of that. So with us adding the flex joints in there, it's going to allow this to pull flat against the back of the turbo and get a good seal. You can see right here where a lot of the black soot is. They had a lot of weld buildup. Some of the problem, they tried to get in there with a grinder to get the clamp around it, but it wasn't enough to get a good seal. Plus, the amount of added heat that they put due to the weld caused the flange to warp because of how thin it is. So this table is a flat surface. So now that we have this flange on a flat surface, you can see we probably got at least a 1/16 on each side, and that's one of the reasons why you were getting all that smoke blown out of the side.
You know, it's no secret, I think some of the old ways are the best ways. You know, I just bought this big old lathe that's probably about 100 years old, and it's just in time. The old exhaust system on this diesel Pro Mod race car had a leak. So Justin's gonna use the lathe to machine a new seal for the exhaust.
So what we're gonna do is try to true this up, make it where we have a nice flat finish again before we start welding on it. Here we can see machine marks all the way around the flange. That way we know that it's parallel to our chuck. We know that our chuck is flat, Once we flip this flange, these two faces will be parallel with each other. Well, you can see the gap in it now, and that thing's like a potato chip. So if I stop it, you'll probably see the two. Marks 180 out from each other. What we're looking for out, we want the same thing 360 degrees so that we know that we got a full flat surface. Now you can see the difference with our new machine flange. We got a nice shiny surface all the way around. We know that it's flat now. Since this flange was originally smaller and they stuck a larger pipe on it, you have a separation between the two materials. So I'm going to weld on the inside to tie it in, and I'm also going to weld on the outside to tie it in before I put my 5-inch pipe over it. So I know it looks like a lot of time and effort is going into this little piece, but this right here is the foundation for what we're building off of, so it needs to be right. Now that we got this piece welded up with all the holes fixed in it, we're going to go ahead and tack this top ring on there, get it attached back to the turbocharger. So we're going to need 10 of these put together to get our 90-degree bend. Well, we need to get it to clear this tire, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tack another 5 pieces together. That'll put us at a 45-degree pitch to get it to come out this way. We'll do a straight run of pipe, and then another 45 to get it straight at the bottom, and then from there, we'll come out of our fender. When you're making pipes like this, it's a lot of figuring out. You kind of just start putting pieces together, kind of see how it works.
Just because of the sheer size of this 2020 Denali dually, we're making one of the longest frames we ever made. So every 1/4 inch is really going to matter. Because in the end, we have to fit the engine, the wiring, all the computers back under the body. And now there's about to be even less room than what we started with.
What we're going to do now is center this axle in between the frame rails, front to back, exactly where we need it, so we can begin the mock-up process of the 4-link bars. The challenge here is we don't have a whole lot of wiggle room. It may seem simpler because it's a bigger truck. You think you'd have more room, but you got to remember it's a dually. Our outside of the fenders of the bed had to be narrowed, I think it was 7 inches, so that brings the frame in a lot more. So we're very limited on space we could work with to build our heavy-duty 4-link for this big truck.
Hoo-yah! I'm bending the DOM to make a cross member that'll clear the extra large drive shaft. And that's what's going to hold the front of the 4-link bars. The truck's so long and it's going to carry so much weight, we wanted to make something kick back just to give it a little bit extra support and extra strength. So all that tube work is not only going to look moves at all, as it is a 1-ton dually. Everybody right now is on this commercial of pulling a spaceship, pulling a battleship, pulling whatever else. So they all want to be able to tow the most they can tow. For this guy to put a gooseneck trailer on it, go wherever he wants, whenever he wants, and tow all 3 cars.
What we got here is one of our 4-link bars set up with the axle tabs, frame tabs. What we're going to do is set this up on the chassis and on the axle. Get these tabs tacked in place. Something like that. Typically, we would put a bolt here, bolt a nut, hold these 2 tabs onto this heim, set it on the bar, tack it in place. But we're going to put a bar straight through both ends. That way we know these tabs will set perfectly in sync with each other.
John just wanted to say in sync.
That way, when you look at it from a distance, one won't look a little twisted than the other. You know, they'll all look symmetrical. And that's what we want, symmetry.
Starting to come together. Now the rear end fastened to the frame. This is the bottom mount. We're gonna make a support off the rear end of this, and this is what all the rear of the truck rides on. But we're not gonna use it as a flat piece of flat bar. We're gonna carry the pipe, tube work, the theme through the whole truck. And for the weight this guy's gonna be pulling, and the durability, and everything that truck needs to do, we just felt better making a connecting back bracket from side to side. It's gonna be super strong. And right now it's kind of ugly. When it all gets welded together, it's gonna look.
What's up, buddy? So you're the new shop dog, huh? You can come hang out in the trim shop anytime you want, buddy.
You usually know right away if a dog's a really good fit for the shop. And man, he's turned out to be one of the best shop dogs we've ever had.
Come on.
Ever since Cleve has came onto the shop property, he's kind of acted like he run the place in the nicest way possible. But of course, my kids love him too, so we'll see how long it takes before he's at home permanently.
Happy to be out of that pound.
You know, you could always buy a dog, but around here, we like to give a deserving dog a new chance. The owner of this 2020 Denali wants it to be trophies, but he wants it to tow his other vehicles. So we're going to build an extra strong gooseneck hitch.
This is gonna be a support that's holding the whole trailer up. You know, we want to do something too to continue the pipe work through here, so we're gonna have a gooseneck ball, and then I'll start building the supports that go out to it. You know, even though we're making a show truck out of this truck, it's still gonna be a working truck. So everything we build here has to be stronger than from the factory.
Man, it looks really good like this as is, but since we're gonna put a lot of weight on this part, which is gonna be the gooseneck hitch, I need a little bit more support just to be safe.
When this gets welded, they get welded all around, I almost make like a second gusset. You're for sure not gonna be able to bend this thing with tongue weight because everything faces down, and you'd have to collapse it all down at one time.
Well, I reckon them some pretty nice looking welds.
Man, we're finally at the stage where this massive chassis can go back underneath that dually. It looks cool knowing that all this started with just some flat rectangular tubing and a bunch of pipe, and this is what came out of it.
Pick your side up more?
Just set it down.
Man, this right here looks to budge. You and John did a fantastic job on this.
Justin's almost done with the custom exhaust for the Diesel Pro Mod. Now he's just tying everything together.
We're gonna go ahead and build the detachable piece that comes out the fender. The purpose of this V-band assembly that we're gonna run is while they're trying to load them up in the trailer, you got this big pipe sticking far out and it doesn't allow enough clearance. So with the V-band, it'll allow him to remove the exhaust off the side of the car before he loads it up so it's not sticking out the side. So instead of leaving this pipe hole where it's gonna throw all the exhaust gases out on the side of the car and get all the black soot on it, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it up in here, and it's almost gonna be like a teardrop shape by the time we get it finished cut. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up with a grinder for a little bit before I put it on the car. File is more of a real sharp, defined edge all the way around it and like kind of true it up a little bit. Now, not only does it look better, it'll perform the way they need it to. Also, with the front half of the car on, it's gonna come to about right here. They'll be able to reach into the fender, take this clamp loose, and remove this tip off before they load it in the trailer to make it easy.
Before we can start on the bodywork on the Diesel Pro Mod, the old wrap has to go.
So we gotta come in here, we gotta heat it up nice and evenly. Can't heat it up too much, it'll mess up the fiberglass, it'll warp it. As you heat it and you pull it, it'll start stretching. If you don't take your time, you can peel that fiberglass and it just creates a lot of body work for the guy. You never know what you're gonna find when you start pulling off some old wraps from the 80s, 90s. People did things a little different back then. Such as right here, there's a big massive hole no one would ever even know about. But if we ever got a race car in like this that didn't have the problems, the owner's not driving it hard enough. They're not out there doing what it's made to do. It's not a trailer queen, it's a race car.
Honestly, I'm just really take my time and make sure every little nook and cranny and crease has been filled away and cleaned. I put up with those two all day, every day, so I definitely have to have patience.
Needs to be cleaned up a little bit. The guys can get on this body work here at the shop, and we'll come in, we'll put the new wrap on it, and we'll make it look real sharp.
Justin's almost done with the custom exhaust on the Diesel Pro Mod. He's replacing the old steel pipe with a lighter, way cooler stainless pipe.
Pipe bolted up with our recirculation lines tied in. We're going to go ahead and replace this charge pipe. We're going to start from this nitrous plate all the way over to the plenum. This is a lot more than cosmetic. We're going to have a weight savings going from a steel tube to our now aluminum tubing. And when it comes to racing, anywhere you can save weight is a big deal. One of the key things with having a good weld is being comfortable while you're welding. That's why we come to the table. We're going to get a fresh pair of gloves, we're going to clean our wire, and then we're going to come back and drop some dimes. We're going to run the machine around 90 amps. One of the things with aluminum is that it's real thin and it absorbs the heat real fast. What we want to do is we're going to pulse with our foot pedal. So we're going to add some heat and back off some heat so that it has a cooling cycle in between so that we can add our wire, and that's how you get that dime effect versus a flat weld.
Now that the old wrap is off the old Diesel Pro Mod, Edgar and the team, they can get right to body work.
As you can see, it's all chipped everywhere. The paint's ruined. So what we will have to do here is repair all these fiberglass cracks all the way around the body. Man, this thing is beat up.
After we screw our cowl to our hood, we fiberglass it to make it all one piece. So now I'm gonna spray some black on it on the inside to make it all nice and clean. That way when they take it off, it looks really nice. All right, it's ready to be wrapped.
I got my guys finishing up the wrap. And adding new tinted window glass.
We have them looking pretty and going fast.
And this Pro Mod will finally look as good as it runs. After a lot of hard work, a late night or two, we're here at Houston Motorsports Park to give the old Diesel family their car back.
We are excited, man.
Super, man. I cannot wait to see it.
Pump.
What's up, fellas?
What's happening, Bill?
What's up, Bill?
How y'all doing?
Pump, man. We're excited.
Well, you got good reason to be. Your Pro Mod was running good, but it definitely wasn't looking good.
I know, man. We were just getting made fun of in the pits. You know, when you roll up after winning a race and it looks like that, it's just...
Like, did you really win at all?
Exactly, you know?
It's rough.
You kind of won.
Yeah,
looking like
I mean,
that.
we did, but we didn't.
It's been a labor of love. You know, we put our hearts and soul. You don't get blood on it, it's not fixed right.
You ready to check it out?
I'm ready.
Ready.
Nice.
Let's do
go.
it. We're so excited to see this thing.
Let's see it.
Yeah. Dude! Oh my gosh, bro!
Oh my God!
Do you see that?
That
the
is
same car,
freaking
man?
awesome. Awesome. We got a freaking race car. We got a race car.
Man, I love it, man.
Oh my God, dude.
That thing is perfect. That's beautiful, man.
It looks like a brand new car, huh?
This is what I envisioned. When we got this car, I told them, I want charcoal gray, black chrome.
It's very intimidating now.
That's what we needed. We need to make a statement.
You got the Bel Air theme in there?
Yeah.
The color scheme's perfect.
Oh, I know.
Exactly what we wanted.
Freaking beautiful.
Right. You know, the old wrap, it was definitely coming off anyway. I guess you guys were fast on the track because half of it was peeling off before we even got it.
The guys behind us didn't care for that too much.
No.
Spider Wraps guys came over and peeled off the old wrap and just uncovered chips, scratches, gouges, parts missing. Body shop guys did their thing, made it all nice and straight, filled in the holes.
Probably like 10 times more aerodynamic now, too.
Yeah, we don't have all the holes in the hood.
Yeah,
and
I know.
all that. It's like, I don't even know what to do with my hands.
You know, I'd make an exception this time on the cow hood, right?
Yeah,
you know, I
you don't
those
like
things,
it.
but on a race car, it's a little different.
Oh, yeah.
So it's all molded in now, so it's not
So
going
clean,
anywhere.
man.
You don't have big holes all
Oh,
in
yeah.
the front end.
Thank you.
Make it
Yeah.
look
I want that secured on there.
right. While we got it up in the air, we pulled the wheels off, powder coated them, you know, tied everything together. New glass in it, all tinted glass, so
Man.
it just looks mean.
Those extra touches just take this car to the next level, Bill. Yeah, we love that.
And this has always been my dream, to put a Cummins in a 57 Chevrolet. To have that iconic car with a diesel in it that we can incorporate, you know, our business, have fun with, and stay classy. I mean, it does have attitude to it.
It got a lot of attitude.
And people look at this car, they'll know it's a 57 Chevrolet.
When you pull up to the starting line, people are just going to already be nervous just by looking at this thing.
And they're going to know immediately that they're going to get second place that day.
That's it. You know, this family's been working their butts off for quite some time, and I'm proud to say they have the full package now.
Oh my gosh. Check it out, man. They did the whole intercooler pipe and the exhaust.
Dude, look at the welds on it, too.
I mean, it's
Wow, that's
perfect.
awesome.
And, you know, the aluminum's a lot lighter, so any way we can save, I mean, it's perfect.
I mean, Justin is the man when it comes to something like this, and he got down on it.
Those pie cuts and those welds are just beautiful.
All stainless, 5-inch pipe. That's 15 inches of weld all the way around this, every pie cut. So there's 29 feet of weld.
That's crazy, man.
That takes some time.
Yeah.
That's a ton of work, but you see the result pays off for sure.
Definitely,
For sure.
man. And he's got, you know, a lot cleaner bends and right.
Help us keep it nice and sealed and not have any boost leaks either.
Yeah.
While Justin was building everything, he put a V-clamp right on the end so you can take that rod off.
It's brilliant.
Definitely make life
Smart,
easier.
tripping over it.
Beautiful.
That's definitely it's an art piece.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
It is.
beautiful.
We can't thank you enough. I mean, you and the guys knocked this out of the park.
Well, actually, you can thank me. You told me something when you dropped this off, right?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, there's a reason why we're at Houston Motorsports Park, right?
I kind of put two and two together.
A little drag strip,
Yeah.
strip right over here, you know.
I did say you could drive it, man.
All right, well, I'm ready. You ready? Your car ready?
She's always ready, man.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
You know, a lot of people have been asking, where's Mr. Blue Dog? Man, he hit the dog lottery. He went from homeless to my house. He's got his own bed, his own bedroom, his own toys. He's like a kid that came from nothing, graduated college, and now he's the CEO of his own company. Probably a little buddy. Blue comes to shop every once in a while now just to hang out. I'll bring him up here a couple of days, maybe a couple times a month, let him hang out. But for the most part, he hangs out by the pool on the swing out back. And when I get home, he wants to hang out and cuddle. You know, it's just like anything. They say that if you do what you love, you never work a day in your life. Well, same with a dog. If you have room at your house, you'll never have a bad day at your house. Here will show up, he'll get attached to somebody. If you adopt these guys instead of shopping, they didn't ask to get put in the pound. They don't ask to get overbred like that. If you can adopt one of these guys, man, your life will be so much better and they're full of joy.
As good as a Diesel Pro Mod looks, you know, a performance vehicle like this is measured in speed. And the Wells family is nice enough to let me make a run down the track with it.
Man, are you ready for this?
I'm born ready.
And I know you can drive. I'm just saying. I mean, this.
We're about to see, huh?
That's what I'm worried about. I was actually expecting him to be really nervous, but he looked surprisingly calm.
That's scary.
It is kind of scary.
Did everybody explain to him this car goes straight? He's not supposed to do donuts, right?
Don't be all mad when time's quicker than yours.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Let's check this thing out. You know, getting behind the wheel of a Pro Mod isn't just turning the key and hitting the gas. I mean, there's a lot of things that go in with that.
We're going to put it in first gear. You want to see about 900 degrees before you floor it. Then we're going to start creeping up in the throttle. And once I see about 10, you can mat it. Boom. And then once we see the trees start dropping, as the last light comes on, go ahead and let off the brake. Go when you're ready. All right, let's see this, man.
Come on now, dude.
Oh, okay.
There it
Okay.
goes.
Yep,
There it
let's get
goes,
going.
man.
All right. Come on, Bill.
Come
Keep
on,
it straight,
Bill.
man.
Come on, Bill.
A little
Come
more.
on.
You know, that was really, really fun. I can definitely see the addiction in this. Already want to go again.
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
Good job,
that was
bro.
awesome, man.
What a pass.
Good
What you
job,
think, man?
Good
That
job.
was awesome.
One Way Diesel got a new driver or what?
Oh, man, I don't know about that.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah,
We'll
what?
talk about it.
How'd it feel, bro?
Man, that was cool. I'm really, really impressed with the diesel engine doing what it did, man, for sure.
They're pretty fun, huh?
Definitely adrenaline rush, man, for sure.
Absolutely, man. We really appreciate everything you did for us on this car. It looks absolutely killer. It's insane.
I mean, it's perfect.
It really is.
So we can't thank the guys at Extensive enough for this, and
No, it's literally a dream come true.
it is. It is a dream for us, man.
You know, this is what it's all about for sure, right?
That's right,
Sir.
man. Family and going fast.
And looking good.
And looking good now. Thanks to you. I appreciate it, bro.
Man, appreciate you guys.
All right.
Look what I got, Timmy.
Tim and John are almost done with the rear suspension on the 2020 Denali Dually.
What we have now is the front crossmember for this dually chassis. This is where the motor is going to sit. If we can connect the chassis to this front crossmember and connect the crossmember to the front core support, finally, this frame will be complete, and then we can move on.
Now that we got the strong foundation, we can drop in that big old Duramax diesel. We've been at this thing for a couple of months already, and we still have to make room for the big old notch and those big old wheels. Finish the front suspension, articulating speakers, and color match everything. You know, on an older truck, making a frame this big would be the hardest part. But on a new truck like this, we're really just getting started.
This is going to be a real tight fit.
Fitting a watermelon in an egg carton?
I wish it was that easy.